So let's get started. To begin today's program, I'd like to invite Senior Jordan Camp to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Again, welcome to all in attendance. I'd like to take the opportunity to acknowledge several guests with us this morning, beginning with our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Paul Smith, from the Board of Education, Joanne Pharmacy, my administrative colleagues throughout the district who have joined us, of course, the heart and soul of our building in the form of students and staff, our special guest of honor to my left, who I will introduce shortly. I would also like to take the opportunity to share that several students helped provide valuable thoughts and suggestions with regard to today's program. A sincere thank you to all students who provided that input. I could not have done this without you, and you know who you are. Likewise, I'd also like to thank my administrative assistant, Mrs. Bullitt, for all of her help in making today possible, students in the Student Council, my principal's advisory group, and their advisors, Mrs. Russell, and Ms. Moore. Big round of applause for everyone. It is hard to believe that this is the second annual Bellringer Day. Provides additional confirmation that time does indeed move this fast. For the benefit of ninth graders experiencing this for the first time, as well as new staff members or visitors, let me share the inspiration behind this tradition. This was born as a result of the incredible pride surrounding being a Bellringer. For many of the younger students at Memorial, Center, and Middle School who are future Bellringers, when they end up here, they will finally have arrived to the home of the Bellringers, where pride runs strong. This pride is the reason why countless alumni return to say hi to staff members that had a lasting impact on their lives. This pride is the reason why when tragedy strikes, everyone bands together to support one another and those in need. This pride is the reason why when I meet community members, those that graduated here speak of this high school with gratitude, appreciation, and fond memories. This pride is the reason why so many wear Bellringer blue and white. It is the reason why today so many of us are donning our school colors, or these ribbons, or both, as well as why many throughout the district are joining us in doing so. It is recognition that the road to becoming a Bellringer and finally becoming one are both special. And with that, I would like to share with you a short video that was completed especially for this day.
What is your name and your grade?
I'm Lucia and my grade is 6.
I'm Landon, my grade is also 6.
Laura in 4th grade.
Okay.
I'm Owen and I'm in 4th grade.
My name is Austin and grade 7.
My name is Charlotte and I'm also in grade 7.
My name is Jacqueline, I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Siobhan, I'm in 5th grade and this is Finch.
My name is Jaden and I'm in 8th grade. I'm Ryan and I'm also in 8th grade.
Hi, my name is Amir and I'm going to be a Bellringer.
My name is Taylor, I'm going to be a Bellringer.
My name is Mariella and I am Noah and we can't wait to be Bellringers.
So are you guys excited about the day that you will eventually become a Bellringer?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah? What are you gonna do with that?
I'm probably just going to bring a bell to school on the first day of high school.
I'm looking forward to being able to pick some of my classes and some of the classes they offer. And I'm also looking forward to kind of more freedom.
Just that you get to meet new teachers and you can probably make new friends. Yeah, I bet you'll make more than you did in other schools because there's more than one class. So you have different students in each one.
I am looking forward to all the fun trips that we get to go on in band.
I'm going to immediately see when the sports programs start, so I can sign up for all the sports programs.
I just want to see where the technology lies.
Cool field trips, like to a museum or an aquarium, a magic shop.
When you get to high school, it's Bellringer. Yeah, no, Brian?
Yes.
All right, one of you pick it up. There you go. Say, I can't wait to be a Bellringer and ring it.
I can't wait to be a Bellringer.
I can't wait to be a Bellringer. I can't wait to be a Bellringer.
I can't wait to be a Bellringer.
I can't wait to be a Bellringer. I can't wait to be a Bellringer. I can't wait to be a Bellringer.
I can't wait to be a Bellringer.
We can't wait to be Bellringers.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's do a big shout out to not only the students that were in the video, but to our Director of Technology, Mr. Rich Fielding, for helping make that possible. Please know, the time it takes for each of those students in the video, and you all as present members of the student body, to get to graduation moves faster than you think. Soon you will graduate as Bellringers, and you will remain so forever. The concept of forever has served as the primary inspiration to this year's theme of Generations of Bellringers, and it has directly led to the 4 guests in attendance who are joining us this morning. They are our Bellringer guests of honor, and I am extremely grateful that they have made arrangements to join us this morning. 3 of our guests are alumni, and we are also joined by a recently retired faculty member, Mrs. Chambers, who I'm sure looks familiar to many of our students and staff. She and I got to know each other a bit going back to last year, and I've also had the opportunity to get to know our returning alumni through our recent conversations. When I invited the 4 of them to join us, they all pretty much had the same question for me. So when I show up on Bellringer Day, what exactly would you like me to do? And the answer to that was quite simple. And I said, please be prepared to share some remarks in response to the following question. What does being a Bellringer mean to you? So without further ado, let's meet our generations of Bellringers. You always surprise me as to when you applaud. So, our first guest of honor was a member of the United States Navy in 1967 and 68 and served in Vietnam. So before I continue, on behalf of all in attendance, thank you for your service to our nation, Mr. Turner. In high school, Mr. Turner, through his own acknowledgement, benefited from the caring watch of then Principal Mr. Andrew Ferrigno, who, incidentally, our auditorium is named after. While in high school, Mr. Turner was close with his peers and looks back at his time in school with positive memories, and this was very clear to me when we spoke. He is also a member of the first graduating class from this building site. Mr. Turner is East Hampton born and bred, having lived in this town his entire life. The lion's share of Mr. Turner's work as a civilian was as an employee for AT&T, and for those of us that are old enough to remember, that was formerly SBC and formerly SNET. And he retired after working for 38 years as a technician. He is serving this town in a couple of capacities, as he is current member of the Board of Finance and is the chair of the Economic Development Division. He cares about this community, is committed to giving back, and is committed to service in every which way that the term embodies. Please welcome our first Bellringer of Honor from the class of 1964, Mr. Ted Turner.
Well, he just took care of about half my speech. We'll work it. I've been out of this school for 55 years. My reunion is this year. 55 years ago, I sat in those seats. And I'm here as a proud Bellringer because of the education I got here, the experiences I had here, the dedication of the teachers and the staff in this building, and also Memorial School, the center school, and in this building. I was an average student. I certainly was not the valedictorian of my class. I was an average guy. I am very proud to be a Bellringer, and I ask all of you students in 20 years to look back at your experience in this building and appreciate the patience and the expertise of the staff here, from the office staff through all the teachers, even a janitor that says hello and gives you a smile. You'll remember that in 20 years. And like myself, if you are lucky enough to get up into your 70s and 80s, you know what? You won't forget this place. You only get one shot at it here. If you're a freshman, you got 4 years. You got one shot. If you're a senior, take advantage of every minute you're here. With your friends, listen to your teachers. Take part of the day to study. Do the best you can. And when you walk out of here for the last time in June, and you go through life, just remember, you were a Bellringer. I'm a Bellringer for 55 years. And I appreciate the time I spent here. And hopefully in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, you'll look back and you'll be thinking of this place like I do. It is a great place, it's a great town, and you'll remember your friends that you met here. But you'll remember your teachers. I'll bet you remember your teachers, because I remember. And this is Highwile. I like that name. We had a little red Volkswagen. I had a teacher, an English teacher, Mr. Bert Porter. Dedicated teacher. He had the same jacket on every day. But you know what? He was dedicated. And in my English class, we had some real beauties. And he was dedicated, he straightened us out, and we got good guidance from him, the science teacher, the coach, everybody that guided us through this school. I'll give you an example. My gym teacher, I was a little kind of a renegade, and I went out for soccer twice, got cut twice. Why? Because I was down at Pizza House smoking. Can't smoke when you play soccer. But that was an example of the guidance that I got. They have the patience, they have the expertise. So my message to you today is just remember, and you only got one shot here. I'm a Bellringer for 55 years, and you're Bellringers now. Just remember your experience here at East Hampton High School and the East Hampton educational system. You'll remember that you're a Bellringer. Thank you.
During his time as a student at East Hampton High School, our next guest of honor, Mr. Tom Cordero, truly embarked on an eclectic set of experiences. He was a member of the basketball and baseball teams, both of which made legitimate runs for the state championship while he was a senior. He was a musician, serving as the drum major, and he also played the saxophone, and he was also senior class president. He was involved in lots. He began his post-secondary academic career attending Eastern Connecticut University and eventually completed his undergrad degree from Temple University. Presently, he works for Travelers Insurance as a communications director. As a resident of East Hampton, Mr. Cordero has also served his community. He has been a member of the town council and was one of the driving forces that led to securing the funding which went into the renovation of the beautiful high school we stand in today. Mr. Cordero is a proud dad of Bellringers, with his daughter Jenna having graduated as part of the class of 2014, his son Mason as part of the class of 2016, And the third, which you may know, Lily, that will be graduating as part of the class of 2020. Please welcome our next Bellringer of Honor from the class of 1986, Mr. Tom Cordero.
I want to take Principal Rizzuto with me everywhere I go. Just have to do that for me. Thank you very much for the introduction. Good morning, Bellringers. Thank you, Principal Rizzuto, for the invitation to speak here today. I have such great pride for this school, for this community. I'm honored to speak here in this brand new renovated high school. If you guys, many of you didn't attend, you were in younger grades, but a lot of work and effort went into making this glorious high school that we have today. And the classes before you that put up with plastic bags hanging on the ceiling and garbage cans catching water, all led us to this beautiful school that we all have such great pride for. I always loved this school and loved this community, and I want you to understand that the times that you have here are some of the greatest times of your life. Look around at the friends you make here. They're the friends you're going to have for the rest of your life. I still have a tremendous amount of friends that I went to high school with that I still see on a regular basis, and it's not just because I owe a lot of them money. Take advantage of everything that you have before you, your teachers, your administrators. This is a time where you can focus on you. Find out what you want to do in life, and you don't have to know, but try everything. Try activities, try sports. There's so much to take advantage of here at the high school throughout your 4 years. You're going to look back on these times and remember them for the rest of your life. I graduated in 1986. That was 33 years ago. I felt really old until I saw Ted Turner was here. No, we're friends, it's okay. I graduated so long ago that Mr. Luke was just a freshman wrestler. Mr. Luke was a freshman when I was a senior, and what's amazing, if you go outside and look at the high school graduation photos, he hasn't changed a bit. How can he look the same in the picture outside and right today? That's fascinating. Yeah. Lock screen. When you leave here after 4 years, remember that this community is always here for you to support you. Bellringer pride is throughout this whole community, and you'll always be able to come back here, see your teachers and administrators, and know that this is where you came from. But see the world. There's a wonderful world out there. Travel, go places, take advantage of everything you can. Just see the world. And when you leave, understand that there's a tremendous amount of people that have left this high school and had great success. You think you're in a small town, you can't wait to leave. I felt that way. My wife who graduated with me feels that way. We couldn't wait to get out of town, right? But when you leave here, you're going to think back and say, you know what? That was a wonderful small town. My community was wonderful, and I loved that high school. The pride that you'll have when you wear bells on your uniforms and on your jackets and your sweatshirts, you'll keep that wherever you go. Because when you leave and go to college or wherever you go past here and kids will ask you, what was your mascot in high school? You're going to say, we were the Bellringers. And they're going to go, what? There's wildcats, there's tigers, everything's rough, and we're the Bellringers. And you know what? You're damn right we're the Bellringers. You know, and don't think you can do anything when you leave here. There's a tremendous amount of graduates who've had great success once they've left here. If anybody have an Xbox One, okay, there's a guy on there named Major Nelson. He does product reviews. He's involved in all aspects of the Xbox platform. He's a 1983 graduate of East Hampton High School. His name is Larry Herb. The director of the Rachel Maddow show on MSNBC, his name is Rob Katko. He's also a 1983 graduate of East Hampton High School. Gentleman ran for Senate in the state of Massachusetts. His name was John Kingston. Didn't win, but he's a graduate of East Hampton High School. I mean, you know, he gave it a shot. And this gentleman named Scott Wasserman, who wrote beats for a little small musical you may have heard called Hamilton. He graduated from East Hampton High School. So you can do anything when you leave here. So take the pride that you feel today for your school and take that into the world. I leave you with this quote from the inventor and the creator of Apple, Steve Jobs. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. So when you leave here, when you graduate, go change the world. Go Bellringer.
Mr. Cordero, you're a lot taller than I am. All right. Thank you. When our next guest of honor, Mrs. Cheryl Bollier-Waltman, attended East Hampton High School, she participated in a wide variety of school activities. These included being an active member of the drama club, participating in the school plays. She was a member of student council and participated in marching band, the high school band, and flag team. Mrs. Waltman was also an extremely talented cross-country runner and member of the indoor and outdoor track teams. Last but certainly not least, Mrs. Waltman excelled in the academic arena as well. As commendable as all this is, it becomes that much more impressive when one considers the heavy heart she did it with. Shortly before Mrs. Waltman began her career at East Hampton High School, tragedy struck her family when she, at the age of 12 years old, lost her older sister Renee, who was 16 years old, in an automobile accident. Mrs. Waltman was the ultimate example of one of our very own core values, perseverance. With strength, determination, and an unending positive attitude, she was an all-in student, as evident in all of the experiences I shared just a few moments ago. After high school, she continued to excel and to positively touch the lives of others. This began with her earning a Bachelor's of Science in Athletic Training and Human Movement Sciences at Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, and a master's degree to be a physician's assistant at Barry University in Miami, Florida. After several positions in the medical field and her firm belief that helping others was her calling, Mrs. Waltman presently serves as a dedicated physician's assistant for the Hartford Hospital transplant team. Assisting patients throughout the pre-op process, during surgery, post-op, and recovery, she has a monumental impact on those requiring the miracles and assistance of modern medicine and science. Mrs. Waltman is a proud wife and mother of 2 sons, one 6 years old, the other 15 months, so not only is she proud, she is very busy. Her running prowess has not left her as she has completed triathlons, marathons, half marathons, and Ironman competitions. And just like running has not left her, neither has her legacy as a Bellringer. Please welcome our next Bellringer of Honor from the class of 2001, Mrs. Cheryl Bollier-Waltman.
Thank you for welcoming me back to East Hampton High School. I have a lot of fond memories here. It's changed a lot since I was a student, both inside and out. The grounds, the faculty, the facility, everything is different, but it's still kind of the same. The one thing that hasn't changed is the sense of community. I think of the Bellringers as a tribe. A tribe is defined as a social group comprised of numerous families and generations together with dependents and adopted strangers. The group shares the same values, culture, and history. We are a unique group of people who are always changing. As you see today, we welcome back our members. Each member has their own role. Each member makes sure that the other feels at home. And most important, we support each other. My job as a transplant physician assistant can be physically and emotionally demanding. The shifts are long. I'm on my feet over 13 hours a day, running around the hospital, evaluating and treating patients in the ICU, the emergency department, or on the floor. Or I'm in the operating room assisting with surgery. Each day is different. Patients ask me all the time, why do you do it? Matter of fact, I had a patient yesterday ask me while I was doing their kidney biopsy. I looked at them and I said, now that's a loaded question. She smiled and she just listened. I told her that when I started out on my journey to get here, I had no idea that I was going to end up here. I had a sentinel event, which was the loss of my sister. I was interested in medicine at the time, and I liked to help people. I had a general direction about what I wanted to do, but I ended up changing my route multiple times on the journey to get here. I had told her that if someone said to me in high school that you would end up here, or where would you be in 20 years, I never would have said, here. I realized that my heart and my subconscious mind had created my path. Each decision had a cumulative effect. I shared my journey with her, remembering mostly the people that influenced my path. It really was my friends, my family, my teachers, my coaches. Everybody became my mentor. All of these people who I fondly refer to as my tribe, most of which were Bellringers. As a Bellringer, I wanted to bring home a few words of wisdom to my tribe. Follow your heart, have intentions with your actions, work hard, and be compassionate. Follow your heart. Let your heart and your subconscious mind guide you through the small day-to-day decisions to bring you to your final destination. It's okay to reach out. If you find that you come in a crossroad where you have multiple options and you feel that your heart leads you one way, it's okay to take that path. Have intentions in your actions. Make each day count. Plug away at the homework assignments, the long nights of studying, and the group projects that right now seem boring. With each effort will come your success. Success is not achieved in one single effort. Success is not earned overnight, but is there after multiple efforts. There may be times where you feel you cannot push through. Look to your tribe for support and guidance, because success is waiting for you. Work hard, push yourself to excel, because each day you fight a small battle to do well. Your efforts will accumulate and you will do well. Be compassionate. The kindness of my tribe is how I survived the loss of my sister and how I survived high school in general. You never know what another student or even staff member is going through at home. Make a continued culture at East Hampton High School to reach out to others and just say hi to each other. Acknowledge each other's presence. Be kind. Compliment your colleagues when they accomplish a small feat. Even recognize a teacher when they put together a challenging lesson plan. Be compassionate and kind. You're part of the tribe and you always will be. One day, in 10 or 20 years, you may come back and have the opportunity to share words of wisdom with the tribe. I wish you luck in all of your endeavors and your journey. If you leave home, please come back safe. Follow your heart, have intention with your actions, work hard, and be compassionate. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for that, and you are way taller than I am. As I mentioned earlier, our next guest of honor certainly looks familiar to many in the audience, as she recently retired from the faculty here at East Hampton High School. But before making a positive impact on students in classrooms, Mrs. Chambers began her career by providing psychiatric services to adolescents in inpatient facilities. After approximately 20 years of doing so, Mrs. Chambers switched careers and ended up at East Hampton High School as a member of the science department for 13 years before retiring. She was a fan favorite of students and was highly regarded by her colleagues due to her wisdom, sense of humor, and belief that there was no more important job in the world than the one she had. She taught science second. She taught young people first. Mrs. Chambers is enjoying retirement as a continually proud resident of the town of East Hampton, has a therapy dog in training named Bubba, and graciously accepted my invitation to be one of our guests this morning. Please welcome back to East Hampton High School as a Bellringer of Honor, Mrs. Linda Chambers.
Good morning. I have some notes because I was afraid to fly off the cuff here. Hello, Bellringer Nation! I'm so honored to celebrate Bellringer Day with you. You know how much I love this place. I was thinking about it. I had to write something, and I don't know if I wanted to do all that, but here I am. And I thought about it, so what does it really mean to be a Bellringer? And I've been thinking about this since Principal Pursuta called me, and so I came up with a few ideas. So what does it really mean to be a Bellringer? Is it how loud that you yell at a pep rally? Yes. Maybe. Okay. All right. Maybe. Is it getting up on stage to sing the alma mater at the end of the concert? Maybe. Is it going to the play because your best friend is in it? Maybe. So why is that? And I was thinking from a teacher's perspective. Is it any different from, say, my perspective, or your teacher's, than yours? What do you think? You think it is? Well, after a lot of thinking it over and mulling it over, I realized it isn't any different. We do these things simply because we care. That's what it's all about. We care to support each other's dreams. Before I arrived to teach here, my 4 children, all Bellringers, were encouraged by many of my colleagues to explore and dream. Some students know their dreams very early on, while others are exploring what might mean to them. Not everybody knows what they want to be when they grow up. I am still trying to figure that out. For example, my oldest, now a dentist, knew from early on that she was going to be one. I don't know how. But exploring art here was going to be important. She didn't know that at the time. But when she went off to dental school and made her applications, they asked to look at her art portfolio from APR. Because what that showed was that she had fine motor dexterity. You don't want a dentist in your mouth that's just smart. You want one that doesn't mess up with the drill. My son, he had his ups and downs here. 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Get some A's, have some zeros. Somehow made it through. He had some encouragement here, however, in the business department. Mr. LeBlanc was his teacher. He also had some encouragement from Mr. Angelo. And he wanted to design a car. And Mr. Angelo didn't think twice about it and said, sure, go ahead. Today, he works in a robotics company in South Carolina. And the robots that their company designed make BMWs. So somehow, what he was doing here kind of had something to do with what he's doing now. Because he explored some things that he was interested in. And that's what high school's all about, is finding out who you are. Another daughter just wanted to get out of East Hampton. She just wanted to travel. She wanted to go around the world and see everything. So she figured a way to do that and still make a living. She found that foreign language was going to be her key. And so she became fluent, got a business degree, and she's traveled every country in the world with her business, but she gets to see an awful lot. And she really enjoys it. Another daughter that I have really was into sports here and really enjoyed cross country like you and did track. So she went on to be a college athlete, and she now has a major in sports management. So all of their experiences started with a lot of encouragement and support right here at East Hampton High School. And I know that you're all getting that too, but try to take a little more advantage and try some new things and enjoy your time with each other. Now then I got here, about halfway through my kids being here, and I enjoyed making lifelong friends with you and my colleagues. And I know that retiring in East Hampton is going to bring a lot of smiles at the grocery store, the fundraisers, the tree lighting ceremonies, the restaurants, which I've already experienced, which has been great. I'm proud to be a part of this tight-knit community where dreams are encouraged and support is around every corner. So my best advice is chase your dreams, explore new things, and more importantly, take care of each other in the Bellringer way. One thing I know some of you might be curious about, I still have dreams too. And yes, I did audition again for Survivor.
Thank you once again to all of our Bellringer guests of honor. This time I'd like to invite Mr. Aaron Brown and the students in the combined choirs to perform East Hampton High School's alma mater. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this program. At this point, the program has concluded. You may return to your exit.